Okay, so welcome to the webinar. I did it earlier on. There was a little technical issue, so I didn't get to record it properly. So I'm just going to go over it quickly here and try and deal with some of the questions that did come up. So as you can see on the screen here in the presentation, this is what we're going to go over. This is what we went over in the webinar. It's just a quick introduction into ourselves. We talked about the objectives of the Futsal Festival and exactly where we are now. We introduced Mick Pender, so I'll be doing the talking for him on this occasion. And then I'll be talking about event operations and then getting into the game rules and just the main differences in the rules. Then a little bit about the post-game duties, just to again help the operational perspective to get as many minutes on the pitch as possible for the players. An important area of behaviour that we expect from everybody, and then I'm going to end it talking about some of the event opportunities that we have going to be available to everyone, and then we'll finish off with a question and answer. Obviously, I'll be doing all the questions and the answers at the end here, just to touch on the kind of questions that came up. So, in terms of the presentation. We start off here with just the introduction. It's Mick Pender, is a very enthusiastic futsal person. A lot of people don't know that, but he was a critical person involved in getting seven-a-side football, for kids in at the start, way back in through the NDSL. I don't know who this person is here. Photobombing our Striker Online's founder, Eamon Scott, but most people in football, grassroots football, know of Eamon Scott. He's certainly the voice of grassroots football, and I've joined forces with him to try and lend my skill set to his brand that he's had for over 40 years, and we're now looking to grow Striker Online and become the voice of Irish grassroots football. And myself, I got into play football all my life, but now that my children are involved, I'm very keen to grow the game. I see the value of futsal. I'm very, very into the growth and development of women's football. Having two daughters in the game, I've learned a lot of the issues and the opportunities within women's football, so I'm trying to lend my time and spend some time in that, helping out. So that's us, and we'll get stuck into the operations. Okay, so Mick Pender has been doing this for a very long time. I think he's running futsal tournaments and competitions and festivals like this for over 12-13 years. So the one thing that he's a stickler and he's very, very good at is, organisation to maximise the amount of minutes on the pitch. I mean, we have 50 minutes minimum on the pitch, but we would be delighted to be able to increase that by 10% by the end of it, and that can only be done by all of us collaborating and working together and sticking to rules. So the situation is going to be like this. You will be expected, all lead coaches will expect to have their team there ready to play 30 minutes before the game. So you arrive, you're ready to go, in other words, ready to play. 30 minutes beforehand, you register your team, you let us know that you've arrived, and you will be up in the upstairs holding area, which is a very big area where the gallery is, and there's plenty to do. There's plenty of space there to regularize yourselves up there and the team to feel comfortable. Then when you arrive and let us know that you're there, you will be also again confirmed who your opposition is and which pitch you're going to be playing on. Now, always remember that all the data, all the information is actually already on the website. It's already on the Turnio system, so everything is up there. It's scheduled on a Monday. It's absolutely fixed by the Thursday, because we do want to provide a little bit of flexibility, but from the Thursday on, it's fixed. So we hope that you all just play by the rules in this. 10 minutes before kickoff, we expect all the teams to be downstairs and for the lead coach to let us know that they're ready to come into the game, to the hall. During this period, we expect all the teams to line up in sequence. So pitch one, which was the very left pitch, they'll be ready to come in first. So there'll be the teams playing each other in pitch 1, and then pitch 2, pitch 3, pitch 4, and they'll be in double file all the way in, and they'll be ready to come in. And a kind of Champions League style entry onto the pitch, with the first team going to pitch 1, second to pitch 2, and so on. So it's kind of an enjoyable process, and once it's past the first day, everyone's used to it, and it'll work. That's why a little target of us is being able to see how many more minutes we can get for all the kids on the pitch. That's really important to us. So the 8 teams line up, and I'm going to go into that and go in the toilets. Oh yeah, it's a very good area to prepare the kids, because there's toilets and there's kind of small changing rooms and different things for any last minute requirements that teams can. In those 10 minutes, it's very easy to access the players. If there's an issue, if they need to go to the toilet, stuff like that's very easy to do. So it works well on that side. The toilets and changing facilities are there. Yeah, teams are asked to walk. Oh yeah, so we're asked to walk on the opposition, so it's a very good time. Remember, this is all about fun, and we want the teams to experience more of a friendlier atmosphere at the camps. A very kind of, we're going in to play futsal. It's very football focused, and it's very kind of fun. Anyone who plays futsal, even the professionals, will tell you that it's a very fun orientated game. The teams are leaving the pitches so at the end of the game, the teams leaving the pitches are kind of copying the same thing going out, except they go out the door. They go out a different door. So the exit is actually a door at the end at pitch 4. So we have a process where we expect all the players to shake hands in this kind of futsal shake that we have. It's a kind of that one that like that says kind of continental handshake, and we want everyone to do that on the pitch and then straight off in double file, one after another, the way we did. So try to regularize that, regiment in a certain way. It'll look good and it'll be fast, and the better we do it, the more time that kids will have on the pitch. So just to quickly go over the pitch sizes, as you walk in, if you're looking down from the gallery, pitch 1 is on your left, then 2, 3, 4. So the pitches, the teams here, you can see them denoted in different colours, will line up here. The toilets are in different sizes here. This is in the downstairs area. The holding areas are upstairs. The team registration areas are in the door here. And they will come in and they'll just filter out into all the teams. So again, this is just a quick map of the situation. Okay, just to go into the game rules themselves. Excuse me. There are detailed rules on the website, and I'm not going to go into them here. But really, I'm just talking about the real differences that futsal is going to be. Obviously, it's indoors. In this, you can play in futsal outdoors as well, but in this case, we're playing on indoor. We're playing on a wooden floor, so it is a non-contact sport. I mean, there is no slide tackling. There is no playing the ball on your feet. And basically, when we say a non-contact sport, is that you cannot use your physicality to win a ball. Now, you might win a ball and have a little bit of... if you win the ball effectively through skill, and then the other person falls over, that's not different. But if you lead with your physical and win the ball through physicality, that's where the foul's in. So shoulders and things like that are not allowed. You can't push a player off the ball. You can't overpower a player physically. Again, no sliding tackles or playing the ball on the floor. In terms of handballs, there's none of this intentional handball or not handball. Handball is a handball. If you handle the ball and it's advantageous to the offender, it's a handball. And what I mean by that is, if you handle the ball and it then goes into the path of the other player, they can continue playing on, because that's an advantage rule. Okay, so throw-ins, right? You don't take a throw-in like a normal throw-in. So it's a kick-in. So it's a kick-in with a stationary ball, which means that you just put your fingers on it to station it, and then you must kick the ball you must pass it from the line. You cannot score from a throw-in, from a kick-in. The goalkeeper cannot kick. Well, the goalkeeper can kick the ball out if they catch it, if they save it. But if the ball goes behind the line, they must throw it out, and they can throw it out. They can throw it out the full length of the field if they want to, and they're allowed to kick it out of their hands if they want to. It's just not that easy to kick a small ball like that out of your hands. They must throw it out within 4 seconds. A bit like the kick in, it has to happen within 4 seconds. We don't have timers down here. I mean, we can't really, be strict about it. In futsal rules, if you don't do it within 4 seconds, you actually lose. It's like a foul throw in. It goes to the opposition. In futsal, it's really just about getting the speed of the game up. That's the really important. It's the intensity of the game. Every game will start with a buzzer. We have a special kind of alarm system everyone's going to hear it. I'm sure you'll be sick of it, but and then it'll be the same thing for half time, with a very short break at half time, and then at the end there will be the buzzer again. When the next time the ball goes out of play is the end of the game. If the ball is out of play when the buzzer goes, you have one more play in the game. I talked about the goalkeeper being able to throw that ball out to the goal. They can throw it out from the length of the pitch, but they can also kick the ball out if they've made a save. An important rule as well in this festival, you can remember it's not a tournament or a competition, it's a festival. An important rule here is that any team that goes 2 goals up or 2 goals down, any team that goes 2 goals down is allowed to put an extra player on. So you're playing a 6v5 situation until the scores come down. And then obviously if it goes to 4, you're allowed to put another one on within reason. So it's really about challenging the team that's ahead and trying to get as much football as possible into it, because obviously it benefits the players that are losing to get more touches on the ball. This is important. We'd really like to encourage kind of a futsal shaking of the hands towards the end of a game, at the end of a game, excuse me. Sorry. So this kind of, you can see it here in the pictures. This type of grip here, this type of handshake is important for us. We really want kids to experience something more continental, more interesting than the current elbow situation. We want them to feel something different from futsal, so we'd like to encourage this handshake between all of us, in fact, to get into this kind of more continental approach to handshaking. The sports, the way sports people shake their hands is more like this these days. So post-game duty is very important. At the end of the game, when the ball goes out after the buzzer, as I mentioned, if the buzzer goes out while the ball is out of play, then there's another play allowed. Okay. We want to again make sure that everyone shakes hands the way we're doing it, and then to leave the two match balls on the pitch. Okay, it's very important to keep the balls, keep one ready just in case one goes out. The whole idea is speed here, speed of play. Leave the court, as I said earlier on, in 2 single files, one after another. So just file in behind the team in front and let the other team file in behind you, and just let's get that into an order. Let's make it work. Let's start as we mean to go on and get that right. And you leave at the exit door at pitch 4. Now, the last thing that a lead coach has to do really is go to the registration table and just submit the scores for the last game. So you submit the score, and you also submit your player of the match from the other team. And we encourage you to pick players based on, a holistic approach. It's not just about the guy who scores the 6 goals, but think about the player who expressed himself best, who seemed to really enjoy it the most, or whatever. Your coaches, you all know what to do. You've got a little bit of freedom because you're picking the other opposition's player, which is nice, I think. So I like this idea. And then once that's done, I would advise all coaches to get all the parents to subscribe to the individual emails and the groups so they get told of what fixtures, etc. But you get everyone onto our email list so that we can give everyone the news as it happens, and also on the website there'll be so much content flowing from the website. So once that's done, then go ahead and enjoy the rest of the time that you're hanging around. We're going to hopefully be doing some interesting things, so we'll see that over the coming weeks. And so that brings us on to a very important topic, which is obviously behaviour. We all know in our own leagues there's issues, the issues with behaviour, pitch side behaviour, coach behaviour, player behaviour, disrespect the referees, all different types of things. We don't want any of that, and we have a zero tolerance approach to it. This is fun, football orientated, and when there's no benefits, there's no prize here. The only prize that we should all be playing for is actually to develop the game of futsal and to promote it. And the last thing we want is for people in the stands to be catching things on mobile phones, which we don't want. So we would ask everyone to be aware that games are being recorded. Not every game, but most games have been recorded. Clubs are bringing their own video systems. Parents are involved and they're watching. Everyone's watching, and they're watching from a height, and so and they're not standing on either side. So it's important that we show ourselves off as progressive coaches, holistic people, that want to develop the game and develop the skills of our players. Obviously from a Striker Online perspective, myself and Eamon have been working together for the last six months, just getting to know each other and now getting more involved. And we're excited about the opportunities that exist within grassroots football. And a big part of the development is actually the capturing of content, the curation of that content, editing, formulating stuff so that it can be then shown on social media for the development and the promotion of the game. Women's football very much needs this, and coaches all over the country need to learn ways of funding their teams. And what we're trying to do really is to connect the content that is being generated at clubs all over the country week in, week out, and to be able to in the end monetize that content so that coaches can help fund their teams and clubs can help fund their entire operations. And this can be done now with technology. So it's a kind of an important process over the next 6 weeks where we want to show coaches, clubs and parents and spectators and companies, and we want to show them how you can get involved in grassroots football, enjoy the life cycle of an individual team and be part of that life cycle, and have a benefit for your business, a benefit for your brand, and grow with it and communicate to all the massive growing community that is around Irish grassroots football. So there'll be, there are videography and social consent forms and things like that. There's a whole process in there. So any questions that people have, there's no danger, there's no names being used. It's simply to promote the game, to help clubs fundraise, to provide a more commercial angle and show football and its opportunities in much better light. Again, reiterate, this is a festival. This is a festival of football, and everybody involved should remember that. This is not a competition. It's not a final at the end. The objective or the goal really is to gradually find better and better opposition for the team. As the team improves, we can get, other teams can just match each other and just have better and better games. You know what I mean? It's just they'll all grow in confidence as we do this better. So that's one of the reasons why I've set it up in groups of 4 so that I can do 2 games, 2 fixtures at a time, and we can pick, and it'll just if we collaborate, if we compete on the pitch and we collaborate off it, we can really make this a very special event. So again, we are very focused on the development and the promotion of the game, and the player expression and enjoyment. It's extremely important, and everyone will see it, that futsal is a much more expressive form of the game. Um, they're encouraged to take a little bit more risk. There's more goals, so there's more you can go behind, and you can still, there's not, so it's probably easier to score, and it's easier to let goals in, so it's a much more attacking, much more fluid game. So that's what I'm kind of, the importance of behaviour is paramount, and on an understanding that we want players to express themselves, and so that's why it's important to play to the futsal rules. Again, every coach should be aware of the fire safety and the exits and the fire exits and all that. Make sure that you're aware of that as you bring your teams into the hall. Parking, there's absolutely loads of parking. It's nice to be able to say that. It's a great venue. And then there's going to be lots of other activities, not just at the centre, but feel free to encourage your families that are coming out to think of even in January you can get great deals in hotels, make it a bit of a night a night away and things. There's really good stuff around Gormanstown. It's a great place. There's even a beach just down the road, so it's a great spot. Okay, so that comes on to the last slide here, which is I want to talk about some of the kind of event opportunities that we're trying to introduce, and use these opportunities to inform and educate grassroots football coaches and their teams and their clubs into the kind of things that can be done that are really enjoyed by sponsors or potential sponsors. So the old model of sponsorship was for a football coach was to try and go cap in hand and try and get some kind of parent or somebody involved in the community within the WhatsApp group or whatever to maybe sponsor a set of gear, and they might throw 500, 600 quid or whatever into and they get the gear and they put the badge on, they put the print name, and that's it. The badge is only ever seen when it's played. It's not really a commercial business opportunity or a branding opportunity for the sponsor at all. So one of the things we're looking at here, because of online technology and because of the technology that's coming on and the way that we're able to capture so much content, there's opportunities now for teams to actually have multiple sponsors. Not just to have multiple sponsors per team, but also to provide the exposure that these companies and brands actually appreciate and value and are willing to hand over money season after season. And so this is what we want to show coaches, the value and how easy it is to do it. And at Striker Online, we believe that every team has a life cycle, and those coaches lucky enough to be able to take a team from academy right through to under 18, under 19, that is an incredible journey. And that's, but these days it's captured, it's filmed, it's there's so much content that comes out of that, so many stories within each league, and at Striker Online we believe those stories need to be told. And so this is, the first step is to educate the market, and the next step is to show, capture the content, show the content, and just start building it up slowly, and if we build it, they will come. And so this is what we're really trying to do. So things like squad gifts are really one of the things that every team is going to have the opportunity to do, and then sponsors can get involved, and they can actually, the squad GIF will be delivered for that team, and that of course allows the sponsors to get their content onto that squad GIF, and that squad GIF can be used by the team. But you'll see it all in action. The terminology might be a little bit difficult to understand. There's also things like green screen penalties, which is something that we're going to try and do. So we're going to try and funnel as many players as possible. Hopefully all of them. So every player, we hope, will have an opportunity to score a penalty in a green screen environment. And what that means is that we'll be able to generate a video of them scoring the goal at the World Cup final, basically, taking the penalty at the World Cup final. So it's a bit like that. It won't be exactly perfect, but it'll be very good fun doing it and seeing it on the screen. Another thing that we're going to be doing is obviously there'll be squad photos and things like that, but we are going to be doing high level futsal skills coaching. So what we mean by that is we want to provide parents and coaches and the facility to be able to develop the players in short. We're working on something so that we can provide the coaches, very, very high level coaches, 1 hour a day on half a pitch, so that and it might grow from 1 hour. We won't be able to use the pitches, but we have other facilities, so we want to kind of grow it a little bit and see how it goes. But the idea really is to focus on very specific futsal tricks or skills that are needed. And they'll use loads of times. So that's something that we're working on. I keep thinking of like tennis and golf. These technical games where they can just learn this one trick, this one turn, and maybe they can have a portfolio of 3 or 4 of these. And so if we can be focusing on them, they can give them something to focus on. But obviously there's a commercial angle on that, but there's huge value for the people, for the kids involved and the parents involved and the coaches. Sponsorship activation really is what I'm talking about, is the education of coaches and things into how to fundraise based on the content that you're providing. One of our key sponsors, Mint Plus Phones, has been a great. They've provided us with a number of phones to give away. So one of the competition that we're going to be running is a content competition based on who can get the best content. So in other words, we might do best save, best goal celebration, best Cruyff turn. We're going to formulate it, but we're encouraging anyone out there to capture content, share it with us. Then we'll do our little bit to it. We'll pick the best stuff. We'll put up these 10. People will vote all over the country. I'm going to have some of the best coaches in the world looking at the best ones over the 6-week period. So, it's just, to have these kind of international coaches. We have one of the coaches from the Brazil national team. We've got Spanish professional coaches that are going to be looking at Irish kids playing futsal. We even have one of the Irish tricks guy to look at it with his angle in terms of get his vote on certain things. So we're going to have this content, and we're going to have people looking around the world at Irish kids in Gormiston playing futsal, which will be interesting as a way of promoting us and also asking for help, because these countries, Brazil and Spain, are the best futsal countries in the world. And they're 2 countries that we have great relationships with. So so they're the kind of exciting things. So that's kind of one of the areas that I really want people to understand from the Futsal Festival, is that this is not just the festival for the next 6 weeks. This is we're trying to build something. We're trying to show people that our kids need this type of technical work, and they need these type of technical events to help their technical ability. And all clubs should be bringing futsal into their curriculums. So yeah, I've just mentioned the capture competition. So basically, that's the presentation, the webinar that I would have delivered in the half an hour. So I've done it there again. And the kind of questions that came up that I remember well are in terms of physicality. Yeah, listen, basketball is a non-contact sport as well. So it's not so much that you just can't slide tackle, for example. You can't lose your feet, because if you did, there'd be people you can't do that. It's too fast a game to do that. I mean, if you're losing your feet, you can't get back up. You're too slow. So the physicality of the game is taken out in futsal, and this allows other players to really come into their own. And the question, everyone else says, you know, Messi, these players, they all were born out of futsal. The best players in the world. I have one of my friends is and he played for me. He's one of the best young futsal players in Spain. He won the best player under 16, best player under 18. And, I saw him do stuff with the ball that I just, incredible, incredible stuff. And so you can't do those type of tricks when you're being, leathered into it. So everyone was going to see the beauty of futsal and what it does in terms of expression. Another question was, in terms of referees, yeah, we're refereeing from the sidelines. If one coach wants to take charge and make the calls, fine. But generally speaking, it's gonna work fine as long as people understand. There's no real advantage to slowing the game down, but you have to make sure that players are able to express themselves and not getting found. So everything. It might take a couple of weeks for everyone to kind of get used to it, but generally speaking, everything's fine. We will have retreat lines. Retreat lines was a question. We'll have retreat lines for the under 8s and under 9s, where nobody will be allowed, the retreat line rule in that. Yeah, one of the questions was all the information, all the intricate rules, like the full list of rules, are all available on the website. It might be an idea now to actually show you the website itself and where you're going to find all the information. Okay, so this is the website here. These are some of our partners here and the first people that are helping us survive. And Green Capital there, great landscaper. So I just wanted to talk about the website itself. So you'll see here on this tab, so it's Strike Around. When you're on mobile, actually maybe I should show it on mobile, but okay, so here it is. So as I said earlier on, this is important. Okay, all fixtures are scheduled at the start of the week, namely Monday, but can be changed up until Thursday. Okay, so they'll be hard and fast on the Thursday, but I do, please give me a little bit of flexibility, just as we do with the normal fixtures, because I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for the coaches. Now, within reason, but I need everyone to collaborate with me on this, but I want to try and make it as fluid as possible for you. So on this website you'll get access to the location. Obviously I've just put up a video on the rules, which is quite a good video, this one. Now obviously we're not playing like professional rules, but we'll be playing nearly all of these rules. Okay, that's quite a good video to watch. Then we have some products up here which will come up. You'll see some other products, some interesting products coming up. Here's just a very basic GIF that I was using, but you can see that we can use different brands in the back there. Now please, I'd like everyone to subscribe to the email list. This is very important to us as a business. It's really important to us to develop an ability to communicate with everybody out there. And the rules are here. The Futsal Festival rules are there. You can click into that. They're also on the website, on the tournament website that I'm going to show you. We would like everyone to join our social media, and it's going to be stuff going out over TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, so it'll be nice to get all of us joining together and pushing out that stuff. One thing that I want to show you here is the dramatized highlights. Now, the I love this part because so basically, look, I just put down the sound here. So one of the things here is that I can create these dramatized highlights, and effectively, the sponsors can get whatever they want. Um, they can guess. We can create we can create like 3-2 wins in the last minute. 4-3 wins in the second last. We can just create these fantastic games over 3 minutes, 4 minutes. That's you know don't have the exact scoreline that was the game, but what they do is they show off the game, and they have developed the game, and they make things exciting, and the players love it, and both teams can actually have won the game, if you know what I mean. I don't mean it in that way, but there's an awful lot of things we can do to dramatize the games, to make them exciting, to make kids want to play the game and want to enjoy it, and make sponsors want to do it. So all this really is to try and help everybody see the value of showing off the game, showing off our players, showing off our skills, and showing off our competitive spirit, while also showing how much we're collaborating as a group. So that's important there. As you can see, look, just on the website, you can see that any category can also be sponsored. So, for example, if they click on here, there's all the detail is there on the sponsorship opportunities. If anyone wants to get involved, remember, this isn't a sponsorship for this isn't a sponsorship for like 6 weeks and it's done. No, the content that we're going to generate is going to live on. So if you can imagine, a sponsor can get involved and have 2 to 3 games dramatized, and they have that forever for the social media. They have that showing it off, and every time it's going to be shown, it's going to have their brand on it, so there's genuine value for a very, very low price. It's a no-brainer for people to get involved in it. So these are just, again, there's no requirement for anyone to do any of this. It's just that we want to show you the things that are available. So we want to work together to look for superheroes in terms of the grassroots game. So a superhero is, we all need our superheroes, and most communities have a superhero in waiting, but we don't make it too easy for them. So it's usually a benevolent person who wants to help out, but actually you don't need to be like a really successful business or minted to be able to support a club. If we actually give them the content in the way that works for their business, they're very, very happy to part with their money, and that's what it's all. But we need to create the vehicle for that to happen. So what we've done is we've created a website here that can be looked at by sponsors, and if they click in here, and these are sponsors within your community, and if you click in here, you have all these different opportunities. So, for example, I'm going to be funneling all the kids through a squad GIF. So every team is going to go through it. They're going to go through the process, and this process is really it's really cool. It's kind of like it's got this kind of FIFA type pose, and then they do a kind of a celebration, and it's a signature celebration. So they kind of enjoy it, and in fact, they'll probably do a couple of takes because they'll probably ask to do it again because they want to practice. So we're going to have a competition to see who does the best one. But I'll be funneling everyone through that. So then, obviously, to do the work to get that on, it requires a sponsor. So if a team gets a sponsor for €250, it includes the €150 that it takes to create the squad GIF. So effectively, the team and the sponsor get this squad GIF, and the sponsor then gets their brand on the 3 matches that are dramatized. So they get that. So they get the €150 squad GIF for the things, and they can do. We'll do whatever they want with that GIF. So they're on that for life. They're on that. That sponsor is on that for the life of that content, and then they get as the main team sponsor. And once that's done, then that means that we've an obligation to capture 2 to 3 games, dramatize 2 to 3 games for them. And what that means then is that any additional sponsorship, whether that's a club sponsor or a team sponsor after that, 50% will go to the club. So that means that anyone in the community, if they want to be a team sponsor, an additional team sponsor at €100, €50 of that will go to the club, to your own club. And then €50 goes towards the festival and creating the content to delivering that. So a team could have a main sponsor and two small sponsors. That's $450. 200, 100 of that goes to the club, and the other one. And then if a club sponsor comes in, right, then $250 of that goes to the club. So really, what we're trying to do is show you that there's a real kind of win-win scenario for everyone involved. And then there's all these different opportunities. Remember, the Futsal Festival is a 6-week festival, but the content from it will live forever. The content from it will live forever, and so that's kind of what you're buying into. And this whole process is not really about, look, you'd be mad to get involved in grassroots football to make money. We are, Eamon Scott, Mick Pender, myself, we see the needs for the need for coaches to help fund their teams, and for clubs to be able to fund their grassroots activities. And so this is our effort. This is what we're trying to do and to develop the game. So if we go back then to the original website, I want to show you where the categorization. So if you go into the categories here, you'll see that in each category you have your crest, your club crest. So if you're looking for, let's say, okay, we'll just go down to under B11, which is under 10 and under 11 boys. So you might go into Clontarf. All right, so you click on this button on your phone, and you then go into so this is the top group in the A group in under 10 and 11. Here's the teams in the group. This is a 6-person group because it was slightly different, so this is an unusual one. But you can see I've just done the first 4 fixtures here. Okay, and in this website you can actually go to loads of places. You can go to, you know, the rules on the left hand side here. So there's the rules. Okay, and you have news items, all the clubs, and you can see here all the different teams. So if you go into we'll just take Home Farm. If we click on Home Farm here, you can see at a glance all the fixtures for Home Farm. So the whole system is backed. You can also add, you know, within the system itself, you can add your favorite teams, so it'll keep remembering who you're actually interested in when you go back. So we hope that, you know, we're providing a one-stop shop, a one place where you can get all the information. We want everybody to go to our website. We want everybody to go, because that's where the sponsorship comes in. Because what we can do then is we can show sponsors the value of being involved, and then we can show you guys how that worked. And so it's all just about collaborating. It's all about helping everybody look in the one direction. And if we can get everyone looking in the one direction, that's when, you know, the sponsors want to get involved, because they want to get in front of where we're pointing the people to. So that's what it's all about. I think that brings us to the end. We're on 43 minutes there. So I think that's basically it. Myself and Michael and Eamon want to say we're absolutely dying to get started on it. We still have a little bit of work to do just in terms of preparation, but the hall is spectacular. It's going to be super fun. We know it's going to be super fun. You know, it's like having a party, but you're not worried about who's going to turn up. You know, so we know that it's oversubscribed. We've had to say no to so many teams, but you know, that's just the way it is. We hope to have more of these, and we know it's going to be a genuine genuine festival atmosphere with everybody learning how to play futsal, and definitely everybody is going to be more fluent in football at the end of this. Thank you.